pitch. First time we've got a viewer of ours, Terry Edleman from Niagara Falls or Hamilton, same damn thing, 2 meters apart, joining us. And of course, the ridiculously handsome Drew Martin. Terry, we'll ask you first, and then Drew, we're going to you're going to give some promos out. I don't know what the hell that hat is you're wearing, but whatever. Terry, what's going on with you? Thanks for coming on. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
No problem. I've been betting on sports for about 8 years now. I'm not a professional, so...
Talk up, brother. Be boisterous! Okay, sorry.
So I've been betting on sports for about 8 years now. More of a recreational type thing. I like to bet on parlays. I'm a Minnesota sports fan. But with baseball, I like the Blue Jays as well. So
why do you like Minnesota?
People ask me that, and I can't really tell you. When I started watching sports, I fell in love with the Wild, and then just fell in love with the Vikings and the Twins.
Okay, so basically, similar to Toronto fans, you cheer for teams that never do anything.
The Jays have won before.
Well, I don't even think you were alive.
I was a baby at that time, but
yeah, that doesn't count, bro. The Leafs have won before too, and that was in '60-7, and this 50-year-old wasn't even alive.
That's true. That's true.
So anyway, welcome to the show. We're going to take apart all the baseball games that start after 6. Drew Martin, what the hell is going on? How are you? What's going on in Sports Memo? Do you have a promo for us? I like the picture behind you. I don't know what your hat means. And where the hell is your Vegas backdrop? Many questions.
Yeah, I'm on the move, Prez. I'm in a little place called Melbourne, Florida. Visited my parents for Easter, so working from here, a little mobile. But that's actually my stepdad. He played for Notre Dame, so one of those pictures is him like back in the day playing for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Terry, welcome on, man. Minnesota, you say your favorite sports team. I going just by your age, it might be with Randy Moss running down the sidelines, and then also Toronto, man. Yeah, Joe Carter. We all remember that, man.
He doesn't remember that. He does. He couldn't. What number was Joe Carter, Terry?
No, that was a bit before my time.
29. Okay. Drew, what hat are you wearing?
This is a hat from Costa Rica. Just a little Costa Rica hat. But more importantly, Prez, we have a promo code for Sports Memo. Drew29 will give you 3 days of service for only $29. Good, just a starter promo there for the next 3 days, all access MLB, any play I release for just $29, obviously less than $10 a day. So check that out at sportsmemo.com. We got a lot going tonight. Game 7, 5-percenter from Andrew McGinnis. So check that out as well. Teddy's got a 3-pack. So a lot going on at sportsmemo.com.
Well, I don't want to take away from Andrew, but I'll tell you what, Drew. We'll do a little site crossover, if you will. I have a 5-unit play on Game 7 in hockey tonight as well. Anybody who buys my 5-unit play is $30. $30, Drew. $30. Anybody who buys Drew's 3 days for $29 can have my play for free. Just email Drew Martin. Give out your email address, brother.
Drew at sportsmemo.com, either one.
Drew at sportsmemo.com, and he'll send you my 5-unit play tonight. So you get a $30 value for free for a $29 package. Terry, what do you like listening to us tout having to make money, pay the bills, put our kids through school? My eldest just got into the best school in her field in the entire world. She got into the Fashion Institute of Technology, FIT, in New York. I am starting a GoFundMe page. Or you can all just buy, like, if all of you can buy one of my plays every day for the next 6 months, I will be able to afford to send my kid to school. So yeah. Okay, boys, let's get to it. Atlanta, Cincinnati. I was on Atlanta last night. I lost. I suck. Although I'm up units in baseball this season. 63% of the general public on Atlanta. They're on the road. They're 11-11 on the season. Like I've been telling everybody all along, play the overs. They're 12-9 to the over. Atlanta's a minus 133 favorite. The over and under here is 9.5. Drew, I go to you first. Obviously, with me, I blindly bet the over, and I will again tonight. And we're seeing Cincinnati's bats finally come alive. They go through their last few games. It's a 7-3, 4-3, 4. They're putting up runs. I like the over. Talk to me, Mr. Martin.
Yeah, Prez, well, one, congratulations to your daughter. That's a heck of an accomplishment, man. Best school in her field in the world. That's hats off to you on raising her. But in this game, man, I will say this. I'm opposite of you. I'm looking towards the under here. I lost on it last night, Prez, and so I'm a little bit kind of trigger shy to get back at it, but I was looking towards the under. A couple reasons why. The young pitcher for Atlanta, former first rounder, I believe he's Canadian actually, two-seamer, four-seamer as his fastballs. He doesn't have a great secondary pitch, so I would look towards Cincinnati, especially on the second half, if you can find a book that does that. Bet365, bookmaker, they both do, I know. But yeah, the second and third time for him through MLB lineups, I would look to fade him, plus the fact that Atlanta doesn't have a very good bullpen. His game one just a week ago went 5 innings, 6 Ks, 2 walks, 1. Rourke on the other side, very average pitcher in my mind. Has his good nights, can be shaky at sometimes, but is a solid rotation pitcher here. And the Cincinnati lineup, like you talked about, they were cold. They've been heating up recently, so that's something to watch out for. But overall, Prez, you bring up the fact that Atlanta's an over team. Cincinnati is a huge under team, just 5-17 towards the under.
You got to be careful.
That's why I like the under.
Drew, you got to be careful with that in regards to Cincinnati being an under team, because they're not going to play to the under all year. They've got a mediocre pitching staff at best, a mediocre bullpen at best, and they've got hitters 1 through 9. They have started off slowly, but this team is going to trend to the over. It might not be tonight, but don't be looking back over the last 20 games and saying Cincinnati is an under team. Terry, any quick thoughts? When you go up second in these shows, just make them quick. Otherwise, we'll have 2 of you talking for 5 minutes on each bloody game, and there's too many.
No worries. I'm with Drew. I like the under 9.5.
Smart
I also lean towards Atlanta money line.
Okay. So, Drew. So, Terry, we'll go to you first on the Arizona-Pittsburgh game. Arizona 13-11 on the season. They're up close to 5 units of betting for their customers on the money line. Same with on the run line. Pittsburgh is trending to the under 8-13. They're also up units on both the money and run line. 66% of the general public is on the Bucks tonight. Pittsburgh is minus 120. The over and under is 8. Kelly versus Lyles on the mound. 17 innings pitched by Lyles. 0.53 ERA, 0.88 whip. Outstanding stuff. What do you think we should do in this game?
I'd have to go with Pittsburgh on this game. They have lost 3 in a row. Arizona's won 2 in a row, so keep that in mind. I do like Lyles, though, in Pittsburgh.
Well, it's interesting because, and Drew will talk about this in baseball, you look at Pittsburgh and they won 5 games in a row, and then they lost 1 to San Fran, but they did win that series, and they lost 2 to Arizona. Is this a time to hop on Pittsburgh and take them at minus 122?
I think so. I'm looking to bet on Jordan Lyles. You brought up the fact 17 innings, and I'll do the math for you on his ERA. That's only one earned run. He's found himself since leaving Colorado. I have him as a bet on pitcher. Going against Kelly, the former Arizona State Sun Devil. He has control issues. That's a profile I look to fade. He just had 7 walks in 4 innings his last time out. So at Pittsburgh at the, minus 115-ish price tag, I think that's value. It's Pittsburgh or pass for me.
Terry, we'll go back to you. Just also, before we get into anything further, Terry, a couple of quick things. Guys, head over to sportsmemo.com. Get the next 3 days of Drew Martin's plays for $29. Use the promo code Drew29, then email him, Drew at SportsMemo, for my 5-unit play in hockey. And the second thing, Terry, is you're going to check the comments all day long, because that's our nature. And there are going to be people that are going to call you out. They're going to talk about whether you have good hair, whether they like your beard. They're going to talk about the blue wall behind you. They're going to call you an idiot, tell you you're a moron. My suggestion to you, and Drew can attest to it, anytime you can evoke an emotion from your audience, whether positive or negative, bask in it, baby. Just bask in it. Because only a loser would take the time out of his day to watch a show with a guy they don't like and then actually make a comment about it. So don't wear that shit. Enjoy that shit. Chicago, Drew, do you want to add to that?
100% agree. It's a good thing. If somebody likes you, hates you, or likes you enough to comment, I think it's a good thing.
Chicago White Sox at Baltimore. Both teams are trending to the over. Baltimore, one of the biggest over teams in the league so far, at 17-8. We spoke about this yesterday. I told everybody to blindly bet Baltimore over. They beat the White Sox 9-1. Baltimore is minus 118. The over and under is 9.5, 10. Drew, I go to you first, brother. Actually, Terry, I go to you first. What do you want to do in this game?
This one's a tough one, in my opinion. Both teams are garbage, in my opinion. Santana's no good. Means has looked a bit better. But Baltimore is just not a team I want to bet for. So I have a slight lean with Baltimore, but yeah, both teams are garbage in my opinion.
Drew, I'm on the over. Why not? What do you like?
I guess, Means is a high ceiling guy. I could see him, being a top of the rotation guy in the next couple years. So that might be a bet on opportunity versus Santana. And Santana's profile, a guy that didn't pitch much in spring training, velocity down. He's kind of finding himself in the beginning. That's a profile I look to fade. But the White Sox, if you had to pick a better team, I would say the White Sox are the better team, but Santana's a fade candidate. So that points towards the over. So I wouldn't talk you off of it, Prez.
Okay, brother, let's talk Philadelphia Phillies versus the New York Mets. Terry, we'll keep going to you first. Philadelphia 12-11, the Mets 13-10. Yesterday, Teddy spoke about the fact that there is something wrong in Philadelphia, and they came out last night and got smoked 9-0. The New York Mets literally rolled them, sprinkled a wee bit of tobacco in it, a nice Canadian-style filter, and just sat back and took it all in. Drew, the Mets tonight, short dog, plus 110, over and under is 9. We got Vargas versus Velasquez on the mound. Both pitchers, neither have a lot of innings behind them. Vargas pitching just terribly. Oh, my God, almost a 10 ERA. Velasquez with a 2.55 ERA. Surely the Philly bats are going to come alive at some point here. What do we do in this game?
Yeah, you bring up Velasquez, and in his last appearance, he was touching 95 to 97 with his fastball, so he found his velocity. It's a situation I look to bet on, so I would look towards the Philadelphia side. Plus the fact he's pitched in Citi Field 5 times and has a 3 RA, so he does well there. The mound, the backdrop, he has pitched well there. That's something I like to have in my back pocket. And on the other side, Vargas, you touched on it from the left side. His WHIP 2.32. Batting average against 0.362, over 350 batting average against. That is the worst in MLB. So Vargas is fade for me. Velasquez bet on. I could only recommend Philadelphia.
Terry, I'm busy typing right now because my kid texted me something. What do you like in this game?
I'm going to lean with Philly, too. Philly's been a disappointment, in my opinion, so far this season. I thought they would have a better record than 12-11. And yeah, I can't see the Mets going on a run. I see back and forth in this series, so look for Philly to win tonight.
Well, perfect segue. Boston has been underperforming all year. They are minus 16 units for their betting customers on the money line, minus 14 on the run line. They're playing Detroit. They lost both games in Detroit yesterday, and something is seriously wrong with Chris Sale. Detroit rolling now, baby. 3 in a row. Here we have another Terry. I mean, here we look at it again every day. Doesn't matter whether Boston wins or loses. Doesn't matter how many games Boston loses in a row. Minus 220 to minus 250. The over and under is 9.5. I cannot give Boston my money. This is a straight pass for me. What are you doing in this game?
I like Detroit plus 1.5. So I guess that'd be Detroit run line. So that gives them the option of losing by 1 or winning. Rodriguez hasn't been good. Boston's just been terrible. Like, this is a team that should be like towards the top of the standings here with the team they have, and just not playing well. Yeah, so I like Detroit plus 1.5. It gives you both kind of both options there. If they lose by 1, it's a close game. You still win. And if they win, you win. So,
Drew Martin, where are you going in this game?
Yeah, I mean, laying over $2 with a team that's down double-digit units on the season, not interested in the Boston side. And I'll tell you, Terry, that's a good look there, man. Plus 1.5, you get a little cushion with the away team. Not all the interests are aligned with Boston winning by 2 runs. So I like that look, man. I haven't bet this game, but plus 1.5 Detroit, I think it's a good look.
Next game up. LA Dodgers versus the Chicago Cubs. Before we get into that, quick reminder to everybody, you're watching First Pitch. It's myself from WagerTalk.com, the leader of Sports Memo, Drew Martin from SportsMemo.com, and Terry Edleman from Nowhere.com. He's a listener of ours, a fan of ours. He posts a lot. He bets a lot. He's coming on to take time out of his day to share his opinions. So feel free to bash the crap out of him. And also me. You can't bash Drew. He's too freaking handsome.
No,
LA
you can
Dodgers
bash
at
me
the
away.
Cubs. Hey, Drew, you got a problem with that?
No, all good, man. Bash away.
I'm not. Cubs, 57% of the general public are on them. They're finally over 500, 11-10 on the season right now. They're down very slightly as a bet on team on the money line and up very slightly on the run line. They are a pick'em against the LA Dodgers. The over and under is 8 in this game. Cole Hamels really, 3-0 on the season, 0.85 whip, 2.77 ERA against Buehler, 5.4 ERA. Terry, I go to you first on this game. Chicago is rolling. They've won 6 of their last 7. Is that where your money's going tonight?
No, I'm going with the Dodgers. I like Bueller. This is a tough game though. Like this is not
Every
like
game
slam.
is a tough game, Terry. This is the hardest damn industry in the world. And all of you listeners who think, oh, we have it so good. We get to bet on sports for a living. We get to talk, pinky out, pinky out. We get to talk sports for a living. We get to watch sports for a living. We don't have it that good, Drew. We can barely have sex on nights we lose. We can barely eat when we're in the middle of slumps. The concept of leaving your work at home at work and not bringing it home definitely does not count when our work never frickin' ends. We have no days off ever all year long. We are, if this is level, even keel emotion, this is our high when we're winning, and this is our low when we're losing. Every game is hard. What we do is hard. Tell us why you like the Dodgers.
I think the Dodgers have more power in their lineup. Um, I think they're the better team. Yeah, I
Okay,
like
listen,
Bueller as well.
Terry, you don't need to give out reasons. If you summarize your bets in the post and let's see how you do, because that's all that bloody well matters. Drew, take your hat off and show everybody how hard this industry is.
I'm going to actually go to the Dodgers-Cubs game and break this game down.
Oh, so that's a big no, huh? That's a big no.
Walker Bueller, let's just go to him first. The ball jumps off his arm. His name, one of the better names in baseball, reminds you of kind of the valedictorian in elementary school. You hadn't seen him since 11 years old. Walker Bueller on the mound, minus 115 against Cole Hamels. Cole Hamels, he's been good this year. Walker Bueller, the ball really jumps off of his hands. So total of 8. I would look towards the under, but haven't bet it yet.
Let's get into the next game. The Twinks versus Houston, 14-9 Houston, 7-1 at home against Minnesota. Houston laid the smackdown last night, 10-4. The night before, Minnesota won 9-5. Houston's a massive favorite, all the way up to 260 at some books, 278. The line is somewhere around 230. The over and under in this game is 9. It's reflective of Verlander being on the mound, 3-0 this season, 1 whip, 3 ERA. He's such a good pitcher. But look, the Twinkies can hit, and they can hit anybody. They put up 4 last night, 9 before that, 4 before that, 16 against Baltimore. I feel like, and I hate to say this because it is Verlander, but I feel like anytime you can get a team like Minnesota at plus 200, it's worth taking. Terry, what do you think?
Well, as I did say, I am a Minnesota fan, so I want to make that clear before making this pick. I am going to go with Minnesota plus 1.5, like I did with Detroit plus 1.5. I don't know if Minnesota gets the job done, but they're going to fight right to the end. I think it's going to be a close game. And, so
He's Terry Edleman from Niagara Falls, Hamilton, Oakville, Burlington, St. Catharines region. And Drew Martin, who will not take his hat off to show us how hard this industry is. Drew, what are you playing in this game?
Houston at minus 240, minus 230 right now with Verlander on the hill. It's tough, betting minus $2 favorites here. Minnesota, I like your look as far as a team that can hit, getting a big plus.
Well,
price.
that's the bottom line, right? I mean, there is no pitcher in baseball that can keep that lineup down consistently.
I agree with you.
I mean, if they played a 7-game series and all 7 games, Kershaw was pitching for some odd reason, they would still put up runs.
I agree with you. You can get him at what, plus 215? I think that's worth a shot. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm not laying over $2 against a hot lineup that can hit like Minnesota. So
New York Yankees, minus close to 7 units if you bet them on the money line, but up 0.13 units if you bet them on the run line. They're playing the Angels tonight. The Yankees have won back-to-back games, 7-5, then 4-3. We got the Angels as a small favorite at minus 118. We have the over-under here at 8.5. The Yankees are really hot right now. They've won 5 straight games. They're finally putting a run together, and they're playing the Angels, who have lost 8 of 9. CC on the mound, 10 inning pitches pitched so far this year, a 0 ERA against Pena. Not nearly as good a numbers as Sabathia, that's for damn sure. Terry, really quickly, where are you putting your money in this game?
With the Yankees, I can't see why they're an underdog. So I kind of, some question marks are right there. Why the Yankees are being underdog in this game, I don't understand it. But yeah, Sabathia looked good. The Yankees are rolling, even with all their injuries. So stick with them. Yankees money line.
Drew, talk to me, baby.
yes, Sabathia, first 10 innings, no earned runs, and Trout is 5 for 16 off of him with 2 home runs, so I could see him pitching around Mike Trout. Outside of Trout, the Angels lineup doesn't have too much, isn't too scary. And on the other side, Pena, like you talked about, he went from reliever to starter just 2 years ago, and we've seen this going from the Cubs to the Angels. His walk rate has gone from 4.7 to 2.7. That's 2 full walks less per game. That's a big step up, and mainly due to his first pitch strike rate from 48% up to 6%. That has helped him out a lot. So he's turned into a little bit of a bet-on pitcher here, and Sabathia out of the gate against a less-than-average lineup with the Angels. Points to the under. On the West Coast at night, we can get a healthy number of 8.5. I like the under, Yankees-Angels.
He's Drew Martin, Terry Edleman with us. I'm the Prez. First pitch in the bag, guys. The lineup today, Carmine and Andrew on puck time. We talk about the Washington game, but we also look ahead to the series bets on the Dallas, Columbus, and Colorado series. That might be my bets. And Tony Finn on Morning Joe to talk NBA. Remember the promo code DREW29, 3 days of Drew Martin, all sports plays. And then email him, drew@sportsmemo.com for my 5%. Terry, thanks for taking time out of your day. I'm going to give you a couple of pieces of advice. You seem like a young gent. How old are you?
27.
My advice to you is this, Terry. I don't know what you do for a living, but I hope it is something that isn't related to betting. This is a hard life, a shitty life, a crappy life, and one you don't want. I say it to all the young poker players. It's a lonely, aggravating life. I'm telling you, listeners out there, even if you can win in sports betting on a consistent basis, and Drew, jump in anytime, it is not the life you want. Go get yourself a job, find yourself a wife and children, and bet $25 parlays every night. Hope you win some and enjoy. But scoreboard watching 365 days a year for 50 years of your life can kill your appetite, your health, and your sex life. It is not what you want to do. Drew?
I agree with you to some sense. I mean, think about it. If you lose 45% of the time, that's a lot of losing, and you're very, very good at the industry. So you have to be just kind of okay with that. And like Prez talked about, man, you got to wake up, shrug it off yesterday if you lost, and get back at it today. So if you're the type of guy that can do that, it might be for you. But I just think it's a tough road, like Prez talked about.
And I'm not saying that condescendingly. We got a lot of guys around your age that are listening and they speak to me, and I see this at poker all the time, when I speak to a 24, 25-year-old, what do you do for a living? I play poker. You're an idiot. It's going to bite you. You're playing a game called No Limit. You will eventually lose all your money at some point. Do it the hard way and let sports betting be your fun and not the other way around. I'm the Prez. He's Drew. Terry, you're welcome to come on to do hockey with us anytime. Email me. Be well, my friend. And thank you for joining us. Drew will speak to you next week, Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, Prez. Thanks, Terry. Good luck, man.
Yeah.